Dozens of individuals were arrested outside an immigration court in Manhattan last night. Hours after Immigration and Customs Enforcement detained several people at its field office. The scene quickly escalated into chaos as protesters gathered outside the federal building, challenging the actions of federal agents tasked with enforcing immigration laws. The protest soon devolved into a near riot, with activists clashing with officers, barricades being overturned, and accusations of excessive force flying in all directions. The confrontation unfolded outside a multi-use federal building in Soho, which houses both immigration courtrooms and offices for Homeland Security. Protesters aimed to block vans transporting detained migrants, accusing ICE agents of engaging in what they termed Gestapo-like behavior. Chants and slogans filled the air as activists expressed outrage over what they saw as the unjust treatment of immigrants attempting to navigate the legal system. By the end of the night, over 24 demonstrators were taken into custody on charges such as obstruction of governmental administration and disorderly conduct. New York City, known as America's largest sanctuary city, offers various services to undocumented immigrants, including shelter and other forms of assistance. However, federal immigration laws still apply within its borders. Sanctuary cities exist to provide a haven for those facing deportation, but critics argue that they undermine the rule of law. They claim such policies enable a growing underground network of undocumented immigrants, some of whom, they assert, contribute to criminal activities. The protesters' grievances centered on the belief that many detained individuals had attempted to follow legal procedures. They criticized ICE for arresting migrants as they left court hearings, alleging that such actions denied due process. Supporters of ICE countered this narrative, stating that these individuals had entered the country illegally through programs or methods that were never lawful. They emphasized that the enforcement of immigration laws is essential to maintaining national security and curbing criminal activity. Activists highlighted the story of a Venezuelan high school student who was arrested during a routine immigration hearing. The teenager's detention sparked widespread outrage among his classmates and local advocates. They argued that cases like his demonstrate the harsh consequences of immigration enforcement policies, which they claim target individuals contributing positively to their communities. However, ICE maintains that such arrests follow due process and are carried out only after a judge determines the individual lacks legal permission to remain in the country. The issue of immigration enforcement has long been contentious, with critics pointing to what they see as systemic flaws in programs like the Biden administration's CBP-1 initiative. This program allowed migrants to bypass traditional border crossings by flying directly into US cities, where they awaited court hearings. Opponents argue that such measures incentivize illegal migration and strain the country's resources, ultimately creating a cycle of dependency on sanctuary policies. Amid the chaos, the broader implications of sanctuary policies come into focus. Critics warn that failing to enforce immigration laws fosters an environment where criminal networks can thrive. They cite cases of gang members, including those linked to violent groups like Venezuela's Tren de Aragua, using loopholes to enter and operate within the United States. These networks, they argue, exploit vulnerable populations and contribute to rising crime rates in urban centers. Proponents of stricter enforcement argue that allowing undocumented individuals to remain indefinitely undermines the integrity of the legal system. They contend that temporary protected status, TPS programs, were never meant to be permanent solutions, and that failing to address their expiration leads to widespread abuse. Activists, on the other hand, advocate for granting permanent protected status, PPS, to ensure stability for those who have built lives in the US. The protests outside the Soho courthouse exemplified the deep division surrounding immigration policy. Activists believe they are fighting for justice and human rights, while opponents view their actions as a challenge to national sovereignty. Both sides agree that the current system is flawed, but their proposed solutions differ vastly, with one emphasizing compassion and the other prioritizing enforcement. Ultimately, the events in Manhattan underscore the complexities of immigration policy in the United States. Balancing the enforcement of laws with humanitarian considerations remains a formidable challenge. As tensions continue to rise, Finding a middle ground that addresses both security concerns and the plight of migrants will require open dialogue, compromise, and innovative solutions.